Personally, I failed the AP Computer Science exam. When you're studying cybersecurity, you're probably going to think that everybody around you is like so freaking smart. I also had to take Stats 1, 2, and 3, which got progressively worse. Stats 3 is my one and only C that I ever got in college. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So a while back I did a cybersecurity Q&A and I got a lot of more questions under that, so I decided to ask you guys on Instagram if you had any more questions about being a cybersecurity student or what it's like to study cybersecurity, and today I'm going to go through those questions and get you some answers. And if I don't have answers, I'll find someone who does. Alright, so I just have them all here on my phone and I'm just going to be going through them. This may be a two-part video if it gets too long. Unless you're okay with like a 30-minute video, we'll test it out. Anyways, let's get started. So the first question is, do you know of any cybersecurity scholarships? And I do not know of any cybersecurity specific ones. I know that there's tons of them that I can exist, but I actually personally haven't applied to any. Missed opportunity, I know, but I'm about to graduate in a semester, so what am I gonna do? So if you check my description down below, I will put a couple links for some scholarships to check out if you are about to get started with college or if you are in college. Scholarships are free money. Please, please, please check it out. The next question is, what's the hardest part about being a cyber major? And also, what is it like being a woman in cyber? So I'd say the hardest part is... What is the hardest part? I feel like the hardest part is going to be understanding that you won't always know everything and like having that just be a truth in your life that you need to accept. A lot of times in class I would hear other people talking, and when you're studying cybersecurity you're probably going to think that everybody around you is like so freaking smart and that you're dumb, especially being a woman because you're probably like one of 3 girls in that class. But there's so much in cybersecurity that it is impossible for anybody to master the field. Even the people that are doing really, really well, I guarantee you could just pick another niche and they would be completely clueless about it. So just understanding that you can know a lot of things and you'll still never know everything in cybersecurity, and you have to be okay with that. That would probably be the hardest part. And just to that point, I want to say that collaboration is super important, and that is why collaboration is such a big deal, because we can't all know everything. So everybody can all know little things, and then we can make a beautiful, safe environment. And then again, also, what is it like to be a woman in cyber? I've had a couple like super sexist professors and a couple of like really sexist experiences even at like jobs that I've been at. So it sucks sometimes, but I think for me it's like looking back at all the other women who, I don't know, like helped with the moon landing and didn't get any recognition, or all of the black women that were involved in that and never got recognition. So I feel like they laid this like amazing foundation for me to be where I am today. So what I'm doing is helping continue that progress for the next generation, so that when they come in it'll be even better and there'll be more women and hopefully less sexism. Ooh, we love gender equality. Alright, the next question is, what tools are best to play around with VMs on a Mac? And I'm just gonna say, so the two main ones, I've talked about this before, but VirtualBox and then VMware are both really great softwares. VMware has a free version, but you do pay for it. It's worth it, personally. I would say it's worth it, but if you don't want to spend any money, VirtualBox works just fine. If you are looking for some free resources, my university always uses Labtainer, or it's like the Naval Postgraduate School. They have like tons of free labs and virtual machines that you can download, or like preloaded files that basically set up the virtual machine for you, so you don't even have to do anything. You can just go in there and start working on the lab. So I would say to do that, I was basically able to do all of those labs without having to use any external resources. I'd say they're pretty straightforward. I'm not going to say they're all super easy, and they definitely get harder, and there are harder ones, but it's a really great place to start. So to wrap that trailing sentence up, virtual machine, VirtualBox, and then NPS Labtainer. I will link all 3 of those down below if you do want to check that out. The next question is, I'm starting classes in a few weeks and honestly know nothing about computers. Are there any books that you can check out to help with that? So honestly, like when I started college, I definitely, like I knew a little bit about computers. I couldn't like build a computer. I still can't say that I could confidently like build a computer, but they will teach you everything that you need to know about computers. And I feel like working in the real world, obviously you should have like knowledge of how computers work and whatnot, but you can always like go back and reference things. Like no one is going to expect you to be a walking dictionary, encyclopedia, Google search engine of what a computer is. So I personally don't have any specific books. There is one really cool book that I bought recently. It's actually for middle school students, but it's still really helpful. This is everything you need to know about computer science and coding in one book, and I haven't fully read it, but it's honestly such a great book. It's full of like pictures, and it just explains everything. It's an intro to computer science, so if you really are concerned or want to like read something that's more simple and not like a straight up textbook, I would definitely recommend this book. Again, I will link it down below. Alright, one of the questions is, what exactly do you do in your internship? Like, can you take us through your 9 to 5? I think that I might make a separate video on this because that is a loaded topic, but basically I would log on and then I would jump on a Zoom meeting and then I would do some work and then I would jump on a Zoom meeting and then I would do some work. Just kidding. The main thing I did this summer was automation. I wrote a lot of scripts, and then I also did content related script writing, so I wrote scripts for security videos that are going to be created later. But again, probably going to be a separate video because it's a loaded topic and there's a lot of things that I got to help with. Again, I can't share everything because a lot of the stuff is confidential, unfortunately, but I can give you like really generic overviews as to like what I did and what you can do to prepare for a cyber internship. Someone asked, do you need to take a lot of math classes? No, question mark. So you kind of do. I definitely took college algebra, which is pretty easy. I don't want to not count it, but I'm gonna not count it. Like, it was like business college algebra. It was pretty simple. It was pretty simple. And then I also had to take stats 1, 2, and 3, which got progressively worse. Stats 3 is my one and only C that I ever got in college, and it makes me want to cry just a little bit that I wasn't able to like get all A's and B's, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's a grade. I'm about to graduate and none of it will matter. But yeah, I guess you do kind of take a lot of math classes. At my university, cybersecurity is in the School of Business, so we took a lot of statistics. And then I guess also like finance and micro and macroeconomics are a lot of math, but finance sucks too. So my camera cut off and I don't really know where I left off, but basically there's a lot of math. You have to take finance, economics, statistics, stats 1, 2, and 3. But if you take a computer science degree, you will be doing way more, much harder math. So you just have to like take an L and like run with it. Alright, the next question is, apart from grades, how do you know if you're doing well and if you're on the right track? And you'll probably see that I just butchered that sentence, but it's fine. Personally, I would say aside from grades, the one way that you can tell if you're doing well is to, I don't know, maybe do some projects and see how far you can get without having to reach for an external resource, see how much knowledge you actually know. Make sure you're not just a Quizlet warrior, and you're probably doing fine. The next question is, currently I am doing a major in computer science and need advice on where to start in bug bounty. So there are so many there are so many different areas of cybersecurity. I'm gonna start by saying that. And personally, I don't like penetration testing. I'm not really into bug bounty hunting. I love programming, I love creating things, I love automation, and I love web development. So those are probably going to be the areas that I have more knowledge in. I'm just going to preface that now because like anything related to like certified hacking or like those certifications, I haven't looked into them because I'm not interested in it. So if you are a professional in the field and you have some advice to offer, I say this in every video, please leave some information down below. I'm just a college student who's about to graduate. I'm definitely not fully in the field yet. I have my experiences that have helped me and taught me so much, but I can only imagine how much you learn by actually fully working in the field for a few years. So if you have any advice, please leave them down below. I will continue to read the questions that are associated with those topics, just in case somebody has some advice, but unfortunately I don't have like anything of value to add to that one. Someone said, how do you organize your time for both self-learning and school stuff? Yeah, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's really, really hard. That's probably like the biggest skill that you get out of college is time management and learning how to get everything done when there's literally not enough time to get everything done. But what I would say is just know where you're spending your time and be really intentional about what you do with your time. We have the same 24 hours that Beyonce has, so there is time to do anything. If Beyonce can, I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna go into that. But you just have to be intentional with your time. I know personally I spend way too much time on social media. I spend way too much time on YouTube watching content that I probably like don't need to be watching. So instead of like watching another 30-minute documentary on YouTube or whatever YouTube video you're watching, maybe instead watch a tutorial on like how to do or how to build something cool. That's what I've been doing because I do love like watching videos and spending time on YouTube. So I'll like look up the 𝐭𝐚𝐧𝐤𝐬's videos and like watch her tutorials and watch her explain code just while I'm like doing things around my room, just so I can like have that happening in the background and it's actually something that's beneficial. Obviously there is self-learning that you really need to like sit down and focus on, but I think that the same way we consume regular social media content, we could be consuming content that does contribute to our self-learning. Is an associate's degree good for the future of my cybersecurity career? Probably. Again, you don't have to like go to college to be successful in cybersecurity. Certifications, networking can get you a lot further than a degree ever can. Like I said before, you don't have to have a degree to be successful in cybersecurity. You can definitely just like network really well and have certifications and experience instead of having a college degree. It just really depends on where you want to focus your energy. If school really isn't your thing, there are other ways to be successful. So in that case, I guess yes, it just depends on what you want to do and how you want to get there. So the next question is, what cybersecurity electives did you choose and why? And for this one, I'm going to say that I had a mixture of picking electives that I knew that I wanted to take because it's an area that I'm focused in, and then I had a few electives that I took just because I was curious about them. So for the ones that I did want to take, it was more so like web application security related, just because I want to go into web development, so I want to know what different things can be done to protect websites and like harden hosts and, you know, just from the web application layer perspective. And then I also took Intro to Digital Forensics, which again, I don't think that I'll ever do digital forensics, but I got to learn a lot about the legality side of cybersecurity and when someone can look at your phone and just like different crime cases that involve digital forensics. It was super, super interesting. So definitely make sure you grab a mixture of things that you're interested in, because it may be an area that your career, or it might be a direction that your career is going in, and then take a few classes that are just for fun. This seems really interesting. There's also, at my university, they also offer like malware reverse engineering and things like that, so it really just depends on what you want to do. But also make sure you add a few fun classes to keep yourself sane. You're in college to learn a bunch of cool things, so might as well take advantage of it. The next question is, I don't really know anything about programming, but I'm really interested to study cybersecurity. And then someone said, will I be learning basic computer science things? And for both of those, if you decide to study cybersecurity, they will teach you everything you need to know, I promise you. First of all, if you're going to college for it, your first 2 years are probably going to be basics anyways, so you won't have too much hands-on experience. But once you are in your degree plan, you take those basic computer science classes. They teach you about computers, they teach you how to program, like from square one, as if you knew nothing at all. So as far as going into school and being nervous about not already knowing things, like that's just not even a thing. Like you go to college to learn, so you don't have to worry about already knowing things, because that would then defeat the purpose of going to college if you already knew everything you needed to know. And then the last thing for high school students, what is something you can do to prepare? And I guess same thing, I might just recommend this book right here, maybe read a little bit about computer science, do some basic computer science courses. If you are still in high school, I would highly recommend taking pre-AP computer science and maybe even AP computer science. Personally, I failed the AP computer science exam, but it was still a really fun experience, and if you do pass the exam, I mean, you have a little bit of credit, but I would recommend still taking your university's programming class, because the programming you do in high school and the programming you do in college, although again it's like kind of similar, AP Computer Science was nothing like the programming classes I took in college. Like, I don't really know what's going on with the AP Computer Science class, but it's a really great learning experience, and you do get some like cool exposure to different things, especially if you have a cool teacher. So learn some basic computer science, maybe play around in your terminal, play around with some virtual machines. You don't really have to do anything too crazy if you're in high school. But I think those 3 things would be a really great starting point for you to get into the field. All right, I hope that you guys enjoyed that little Q&A. If you want another one, I'll make sure to do another poll on my Instagram and maybe another one in the community tab, since there are way more people on my YouTube channel than on my Instagram. If you do want to hang out with me on Instagram, it's at Rebecca J. Richard. I post on there a ton, and I love responding to your DMs, but sometimes I take a little bit because life gets crazy. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you in my next video. Until next time, bye.